Welcome to High Tea Podcast. We're your hosts, Mel, Kel, and Kay, where we sip and speak on what many are thinking but are too shy and not bold enough to say. So buckle up, grab a glass, and pinkies up. Now enough stalling. Let's get into the show.
What up? It's Sunday, y'all. How y'all doing?
We're doing great.
Well, y'all, let me tell y'all, as I've said now 4 times, and we've only been on here about 5 seconds. We have a special guest for you guys. Yay!
Yeah.
This is our homie. It's our road dog. We talk, all of us, individually with him quite often.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because he's dope. And we've been trying to have this conversation with him because I think it'll be a very awesome interaction. But let's introduce our special guest for this episode. We have Mr. Prime Time.
I was waiting for more of the introduction, but that was cool.
I don't really have much, I'm be honest with you. I like y'all to introduce yourselves because no one's a better hype man than yourself. So, hype yourself up, boo. Tell the world who you are. All the things. Oh, yes.
What's up, people? That's all. No. Yeah, I host Prime Nostalgia Podcast. We do different stuff, different guests we have on. We had on Keenan and did an All That reunion and stuff like that. So, yeah, pretty much. That's it. Check us out.
Making dope shit happen.
Mm-hmm. Taking
Love
us
it.
back to the 90s.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If I could. No bills. Great music.
Right.
Actually, good TV. Just good.
Mhm.
Better things except for crime. Crime is bad.
Very bad.
We don't like to talk about that. But anyways, well, we're excited to have you on with us. It's been months in the making, but we are finally here. All right, that's all the energy I had for that. Sorry. But I wanted to talk about with the ladies and our special guest. I like to call it, of course, we know it as hip hop, but I like to call it America's Terror because some reason they have a beef with hip hop, but they also love it. They're terrified of it. It's like the roller coaster that they just want to get on, but they don't know they don't know when to also get off when they do get on. So, I wanted to kind of deep dive into it from there of like why we think there is an issue, what we think the difference is between like the early days of like peak hip hop to even now, and just talk about a couple different things. So, of course, I'll start us off with a question because the first obvious thing for me in talking about this is I think race plays a huge part of that, and I think we might all agree. But what else do we think the reason is of why a lot of people have an issue with hip hop as a whole?
Oh, yeah, want me to go first? My bad.
It's a jump in.
Okay, well, I mean,
dive.
obviously what you said, because of it, sometimes the culture takes it and adds to it a lot and make it look different than what it is to other people. So that's what I said.
Yeah, race does play a really big part in it, and I think it's also for the fact that majority of the people within the hip hop industry, especially the face of the hip hop industry, we're not talking about the people behind the sound, are Black, and throughout history, Black people have been, seen to be the most violent in society.
Mm-hmm.
And, hip hop, especially the more, as I would like to call it, gangster street hip hop, is very violent. So, and that usually gets pushed to the forefront more than the peaceful, I just want to talk about my life and making a change for the better. The violent hip hop usually gets pushed to the forefront, and that's what everyone else who isn't Black normally hears. So I think there's a huge association with violence and Black people. So I think that's where society's beef with hip hop normally comes from the most. They don't get to hear like the nice stuff in the background where people are actually talking about real life shit. It's always gun, drugs, bitches, and hoes.
Yeah, it's very
That's
Yeah.
what normally gets promoted the most, because unfortunately, that's the life that a lot of people wish they were living. Where, especially the bitches and hoes part.
Yeah, they love the bitches and hoes part, but the violence, they don't ever understand how real that shit is. Like, you will die in these streets, like legit.
Mhm.
Not be coming home to mama, whatever her name is. Like, it's
Yeah.
none of that.
Yeah. And to bounce off of that, I think in this generation, hip hop has been a music genre where artists have pushed boundaries both sonically and politically.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a reputation that stems from a view of the entire genre in mainstream media and the whole institutional prejudice against
Yep.
hip hop artists. So, unfortunately, the whole hip hop genre is such an easy target solely because it's dominated by our people. And artists are the reason why Blacks suffer in today's America. So, to continue to see that and know where it's being stemmed from is such an easy way to go bounce off of that, unfortunately.
No, I think that's a real part of it, is that to literally bounce off what you're saying, I think a part of my issue with people's viewing of hip hop is people tend to forget it's not just the artists, it's the companies that are making these albums, that are
Yep.
corporate run companies that push these narratives
Yep.
because they know that's what sells, because they know that's what people want to hear, because it pushes those envelopes and it gets people scared and it gets them thinking about things, but they don't also think about the reasons why people do the violent acts that they do,
Right.
especially in the young coming up part of their life.
Mm-hmm.
When you grow up in the hood or the projects, it's not about, oh, I want bitches and hoes and this. Of course, as someone who wants to be a rapper, that's what they want. But like, surviving everyday life, you got to do what the fuck you got to do to survive, even if
Yeah.
that's some illegal shit. And not promoting that, but that's just the truth of it.
Yeah,
That's so
then
true.
that's the false advertisement behind it for me, is for the fact that, you have people that are over here rapping about shit, and they're rapping about a life that they're not even about. Like, you had Takashi 69 as a perfect example of that,
Ugh.
rapping
Bitch
about
snitch.
being a gangster and, running these streets and hanging with bloods and shit. Like, what was it? Whatever. But either way you put it, like, rapping about a life that he's not even about, and basically was paying to be, quote unquote, about that life. So then I'm just like, and that's the false advertisement behind it. Then you have younger people, then you have like younger, more influential minds that are like, seeing this and absorbing this and thinking that this is cool. Like, let me go get a gun and wave it around on my Instagram story. So it's just like, because I'm cool like that. And it's just like, no,
Yeah, I
no,
never understood that.
no, you're incriminating yourself by doing that. And that's the shit that I think a lot of this younger generation doesn't understand. Like,
That
these
what they do
people
has
get
consequences.
right. Not only that, like, these people get paid to put on these characters. Like, these are characters these people are putting on. Half of these people don't even live that life on a day-to-day basis. They're literally just actors in their music videos. And it's just like, and you think it's okay as a child, as a 20-year-old child, your life hasn't even started, that you're in your Instagram stories waving around a gun
Or
because
stack
you
some
think it's
money.
cool, or over here throwing up gang, like repping gangs in your on your Instagram bio. Like, that's fucking retarded to me. I'm so sorry. Like, it's so backwards. Like, your life hasn't even started, and this is what you're doing.
Well, to even go into the gang part of it, like, I clearly don't know nothing about being street or being hood or nothing. Like, I very much am aware of my privilege in life.
Right.
But I also have a shit ton of friends who knows and has been a part of and has done things that they're not proud of. And I've had to hear their stories and struggles and all that shit. But I know when you get into a gang, that's a lifetime thing.
Commitment.
And people don't understand that.
So the fact that Takashi was doing what he did, snitching and shit, that I classify that as a snitch, because if you sign up for a gang, you know this is a life shit. The only way out is death.
Yep.
But remember, he was paying for a gang, so That was the
That
difference.
don't mean shit.
That was the biggest difference. He was paying for the gang.
Yeah.
That's probably the only reason he's not dead, because that's what would have happened if he was actually about the life that he says he is.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the false advertisement for me.
He makes me sick. Anyway.
Mm.
And I think that's where the biggest difference between rap, especially hip hop, in this day and age versus back when we were younger listening to like those nice gutter rap.
Nice.
Compared to this bullshit nowadays, it's
Mumble
mean
rapping.
genuine. It wasn't nice, because that shit was cutthroat. 90s rap was cutthroat. 80s rap was a lot of nice shit compared to the shit we grew up with. Yeah, no, 90s rap was no joke. I love it. I listen to it every day.
Yeah, 90s and early 2000s were more, yes, very, very cutthroat.
Because of 2000 rap, I knew exactly which streets in our neighborhood growing up, which belonged to whose gangs.
Right, and I was not walking there as a
No.
young female, knowing what happened to you if you were in those neighborhoods at the wrong place for the wrong time, not knowing nobody. Yeah, no, stay the fuck out.
I knew what's months to not be on Jamaica Ave because you might get had some nair thrown at you. Yeah, because of that 2000s rap, I knew street shit more than I should have.
That
as
you
a
might get
privileged
snatched.
person.
Good grief.
In New York, part of their initiations was snatching bitches. Like, what do you mean?
Or cutting
That's
you
real
right on the
talk.
street and keep him walking.
Mm-hmm. So it's just nope.
That was before the days of apple picking.
Yep. Now everybody got a preference, and I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine not being nobody's preference. Perfectly fine. Keep talking about your preferences. I love it. Go snatch your preferences.
Well, that ain't me, I guess. But I would love to dive into, how do you think America's view on 90s versus today? What do you think some differences are? Because I already know generationally, our generation looks at this next generation as they're not talking about shit. Like, none of their raps have any heart, soul, grit, like truth to it. Like, the hardest things about their raps are their beats.
Their beats.
Yep.
That's literally it. That is literally it.
So, like, I don't understand most of the music unless it's talking about shaking that ass, which I'm fine with, because sometimes I do want to shake my ass. But, like, if I'm trying to listen to real rap, I don't listen to today's shit, because none of it makes sense. It's just words that are put together that don't actually make any sentences or rhymes or schemes or anything.
It's mumble rapping.
So
it's nothing.
I had wanted to hit you guys up, right? And Kelly and Melissa, you guys are gonna be really mad at me for this. So remember, Melissa, you asked me the other day if I got a chance to listen to Drake's album.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And the fact that you just mentioned beats, I mean, whoever produces beats for Drake is a phenomenal producer, because without beats, I'm so sorry, like, that album would have been trashed if it wasn't for the beats. Because I'm a person that listens for lyrics, and I feel like Drake's lyrics are like going down the drain as time goes on, especially with him trying to stay on top. And I feel like his beats have become his saving grace at this point, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Who are you sorry to? I don't get no checks from him.
I know, but I know that's your boy.
Baby mama.
I know that's you and I know that's you and Kelly's boy. So that's
personally, if I'm not getting checks and I did not birth his child, I don't care. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like me and Kelly probably have the same thoughts on this. Mm-hmm. But if we can go into the side tangent, let's go ahead.
Here we go.
It's not a side tangent.
It always comes together.
It does. But I think the reason why I like Drake's album is not because it's a good album. It's a good album for the stage that Drake is in right now.
Mm-hmm.
His meme stage.
Yeah, if this was pre-2017, that would be a whole separate conversation. Yeah. Like
this would be considered in the we just gonna listen to like one song on this album and that's it.
Don't get me wrong, I like the album because of the lack of quality that he has put out. Unfortunately, as hard as that is for me to say, it's the truth. His albums haven't had any heart and soul in them in a long time, and this is the
Yeah.
closest we've
Yeah.
gotten to heart and soul. It had Ratchet, it had your baby mama drama, it had your
Yeah.
fuck boy bullshit, it had your emotional bullshit, it had a
Mhm.
classic Drake album, Composure, but it was still unfortunately his new age mediocrity, but it's just the best of the mediocrity he's put out recently.
Yeah.
There was a line in one of his songs. I don't even remember because I was like grocery shopping while listening to it, but I had to like, pick up my phone and go back a little bit to like make sure I heard what I heard. Because this man legit said, I had to fuck a lot of bitches to get my baby. Like, I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
First of all, didn't
I
we
had to
say that?
pause for a moment. I was like, what? But bro, you had a baby with a stripper, so you were
Porn star. Don't
Yeah.
give her a different
whatever.
title.
Whatever. I don't even care. But either way you put it,
Respect her name.
what? I legit paused in the aisle, took out my phone, and went back like 30 seconds just to make sure I heard what I heard. And I was like, what? Standing next to the carrots and peas in a can. Like, what?
But this is also a man who said, "This is not how I imagine having my first child." But
Mhm.
I wanted to have a marriage. He wanted to have something deep. This is in his songs. He said this. This is not how I wanted it, but yet here we are. And this is the stuff he's putting out there. Love him. He's beautiful.
He should have went back home if
So
he wanted a
beautiful.
wife. He should have went back to his hometown if he wanted a wife. Someone who knew
He
him when
just
he
got
looked
off
like
the
a
ground.
little tadpole, a little cute little tadpole.
Mm-mm.
So
I listen. I ain't relax.
that's why I said a cute little tadpole, because he was a cute little tadpole.
Anywho.
And that is the degradation of hip hop.
Oh God.
Can't stand you.
I feel like hip hop is just now like corporate run ads
Yes.
to market to young people to do dumb
Oh,
shit
yeah.
that will ensure
Mhm.
that they don't have a future, so that they're just continuously in debt for the rest of their lives.
Oh yeah.
Not to go super conspiracy theorist, but unfortunately I see and know about a lot of evil shit in this world, and that's all I can think of now.
No, that's true.
Just putting it out there. What about you, Prime? What do you think the biggest differences are as far as how people view hip hop from 90s to now?
Some of the actions are the same, but all right, this might sound very weird, but just I feel like hip hop is going backwards, but not in the right era. Okay, because let's be honest, 70s and early 80s hip hop, they wouldn't talk about nothing but whatever they felt, whatever they
Dancing.
had in their mind.
Dancing and
It's
fucking.
literally almost the
Mhm.
same thing, but with a good beat behind it. I feel like
Yeah.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
they can literally say,
It was just
going
not-
to the park, going to the mall, going to the club, I got it all, or something like that. And then they put a beat behind it, and that's it.
But a nice like
Literally, it's the same thing. But I mean, I don't I don't know. 'Cause, like, that elevated until what y'all was talking about, the real stuff and how people was actually going through stuff. And now we just kind of back to what I'm looking at a fish tank. Okay, fish tank. I got bank. I don't know. Let's go and what you think? I don't know. And then they just write it down, put a beat behind it, and then that's
Was
it.
that
And then
not
in the
on a
video,
lyric?
they got gold chains and all that, so that the people think, oh, that's cool. Okay, let's go.
Mm.
Right. It's the imagery behind it that's what's selling. It's not technically like that's
Yeah.
why I said like for me, like when it comes to music, like I need to hear the lyrics and I need to like, not even like relate to it, but it has to resonate with me somehow in order to
It
like
needs to make sense.
Yeah.
right. And that's why for me, like I can't get into like the female rappers that are on the mainstream female rappers that are out there right now. Cause for me,
Ugh.
none of that appeals to me. Like it doesn't appeal to me in no way, shape, or form. So that's why for me, if you look at my playlist or like because I use YouTube Music and it generates playlists based off of your searches and stuff like that. That's why for me, you
Yeah.
would never see mainstream female rappers or a lot of mainstream artists, period, in my streams because I don't resonate with this music nowadays. Like it doesn't appeal to me. Like and that's why I said the producers who are producing these beats, kudos to them because they trap people.
Mm-hmm.
They trap these influential minds into listening to these garbage. Because then you ask them, why do you like this song? Oh, the beat is fire. And that's literally all they can say is that the beat is fire. And I'm just like, yeah, I agree with you that the beat is fire, but the words is trash. If you turn the beat off, you listen to just like the acoustics and it's trash.
It's true.
And you're like repeating and you're just like, this bitch just rhymed house with dog and dog with lamp. What does these things have to do with each other? What's happening right now?
I just heard the other day, I don't know who it was, but she literally rhymed fire with jambalaya. And I was
Right.
like, yo, we need to do better in these streets.
I mean, credit. Her fans probably don't know what jambalaya is.
So they probably think it's
Probably
like
not.
a new like shoe or something like that. So
So you
Let's go
saying
get the
that
number
hurt
5
my soul.
jambalaya.
who don't know what jambalaya is?
That hurt my
Hey,
soul.
some people don't.
You know it's true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And you're like, Jesus Christ.
But I will say, like, to put all of what we're saying together, I think songs were less about an artist's success and more about their rise to it, if that makes any sense. So, like, nowadays, you hear all these rappers talking about what they got now, what they're getting in the next couple days, what they're making on the charts. Whereas rappers back then, they're talking about the struggle that it took to get them to the top, the hard work that they had to deal with their single mother, having 5 children in the household down in the projects, and them trying to get out and rise to the occasion. Now it's like we're all saying, it's the imagery of it today and materialistic type things and the facade of it all, when most people, they just don't actually live that life to the fullest.
Or at all.
But I will say that I think a lot of rappers back in the day, they really didn't live what they portrayed. And I mean that in the sense of Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg has been married to the same woman for years.
Since he was straight out of high school, he's been with her. That was his high school sweetheart.
Yes, for years. Faithful and everything.
I don't know
And
about that. I don't feel confident.
Not faithful. I don't feel
he was not faithful.
He was not faithful.
Well,
not at all.
not faithful, but I'm saying they have been married and I'm sure they've gone through the struggle.
Oh yeah.
But they have gone through it together. Like, it hasn't torn them in obviously a detrimental situation.
Right.
But the fact of the matter is, you don't see that now. Everybody is giving up after that one night stand. Everyone's not even going to go full force in even getting an engagement. Like, they're all about hitting it and quitting it. So back then, I think there was maybe just a tad bit more of wanting to stick it out. But also nowadays, you just can't. You don't want to be seen with a rapper because you know deep down they're not even going to be trustworthy.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised at how long Ice Cube been married since like he was in high school. I was thoroughly surprised because of his with rapping.
Most of them got married.
Yeah.
They might not have all stayed together, but a lot of them did get married to someone once they made it up enough to actually get married. They got married.
Yeah, that is true, because even to like rappers, like I can't even like say a name specifically or on the top of my head right now, but you hear about a lot of rappers that were married earlier in their careers, like, you know, and they stuck it out through their career at some point and then divorced, but at least they were at least you knew that in their personal lives that they valued marriage to some extent. Yeah. Whether their, you know, their partners couldn't stick it out because that life wasn't for them. Like, you know, the industry life, you know, knowing my husband's going to be away for all these times, doing tours for 6 months and all this stuff like that. And I think majority of the time that's what happened. Like that tour life and the infidelity behind it is what broke up a lot of marriages back in that time. So I do feel like at that time that promotion was more important, having like someone loyal by your side, but at the same time rapping about, you know, fucking mad bitches at the same time too, or having like mad shorties behind you. Yeah. But nowadays it's glorified to a whole different extent, where it's just like, I don't need no real bitch or a real nigga, whatever the case is. I just want to live my life and pop my ass and just
Mhm.
slang my pee all over the place. And I think that's what
That's the
it
word that you
Huh.
censor. Okay.
Huh.
is.
Really? Got
That's
it.
my censor.
Got it.
Yeah. So that's more promoted now. Like just doing whatever the fuck you want to do at this point. And
Yeah.
They
I
took
am
the like to me hip hop 90s hip hop is like no, I'm gonna tell you my truth. I'm gonna be my true self, and you gonna take it or leave it. But they took that and turned it into oh, I'm gonna be who I want to be, the fuck motherfucker all the time.
okay. I guess what I'm trying to say is that yes, I agree with you with the 90s music where it's just like, even though they were rapping about it or singing about it or whatever the case is, they weren't about that in their actual day to day life to that level. But now it's a whole different ball game. Like whatever these people are rapping about or singing about, like they're legit doing on their day to day. And I think for the fact that now we have social media that you can literally post your day to day platform, like, or you can go live at any moment. And it's like you have to keep this image up. And that's
Yeah.
the only way people stay relevant is by keeping this image up. So now you have people that you're whatever beef you may have with somebody, it doesn't stay between you and that person. It goes to the whole entire world because there's legit people that go on live and then go on rants about one person for like 6 hours. And within that 6 hours, they just had like 10,000 people viewing that live. And they have to keep that imagery up. Like, and now majority of the time, all the beef is about baby mom and baby daddy drama. That's what's happening right now in this day and age. At least back then it was more private and we finally found out about it like 10 years later. Now you find out about it as soon as that person gets pregnant. Like that's it. And this is how people stay relevant.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Negativity is what keeps people relevant.
Yes, it does.
Oh well, the corporate record companies have been feeding off of the negative and toxic imagery that has been put out there, regardless of whether it's a truth or not, in order to get their money. And these are also the same companies who donate to people who don't give a fuck about black people. They don't give a fuck about y'all. They give zero fucks about their artists. They care about the money that's being brought in. So when they're allowing their artists to talk about like these new age ones talk about, oh, they're perfectly fine with the artists talking about like, oh, what women should do with their bodies. They're perfectly fine with that because that pushes their agenda because they're donating to those same causes. They're donating to those pro-life causes because these are also still conservative companies. They just want to make their money.
Yep. But then that's the crazy part because then you have the people that are on these that are supporting those companies in the back that are supporting those organizations in the background, but yet they have artists that are pushing fucking whoever you want, slanging drugs and like no, not slanging drugs on the street. I'm sorry, taking drugs in the club and stuff like that. So that's where we're at right now. And it's just like your imagery is different from what you do in the background. And for the fact that people are supporting the imagery, they have no idea what's going on in the background unless you're really paying attention. But that doesn't happen. They're not, because their market and their demographic that listens to that specific artist is not in the demographic that pays attention to the background.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of it comes from. Like I like, you know, my 12-year-old niece fucking looks at people dancing to Megan Thee Stallion's thought shit on TikTok. So it's just like, of course, then you're gonna end up searching that song and making it part of your rotation, and then you're gonna end up with everybody in that genre on a playlist. It only takes one person to create a trickle effect. And unfortunately, TikTok is the biggest cesspool for that.
Yes.
Because the demographic of people on TikTok are children. They're literally like 9 and over. And that's what they're looking at. And that's what they're getting into. Especially if they like the dancing part of TikTok. That's what everybody's dancing to. So they know, the industry knows exactly what it's doing. It knows that the biggest consumers are children and young teenagers and young adults.
That's why they call kids sponges.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Sometimes I want to wring them out.
Let them sit in the sun real quick and dry up.
Yes.
Oh wow, y'all know it's Sunday, right?
Yes. Sorry, Jesus.
I'm just messing. We both know. Um, so I think, especially speaking on that, I would like to think of like maybe like how should I word this? So, what are some things that you think like are side effects of these people who have such a hatred of hip hop? And obviously we think it definitely ties into race, so that ties into them not liking black people and brown people. What do you think are some of the side effects? Like, perfect example, like because of how they show women in hip hop as these just shaking their ass, sex, disposable bodies, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think that ties into how they treat women when they interact with black women. They think like certain people, I'm not saying all people, certain people, because of how they've seen black women being portrayed in hip hop as these disposable means of ass and sex, that's how they treat them. And they're like, and I know if a motherfucker came up to me talking some wild shit, I'd be like, what the fuck, bitch? You want to lose your life today?
Yeah, well, of course. But even to that, one thing I will definitely say, and I don't know if you guys would agree with me or not, like I said before in the beginning, like there's always a preference in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And, especially when it comes to, music video and quote unquote being the video vixen. So it's just like, and I'm perfectly okay with it. When I was younger and stuff like that, not understanding it more, I always just like, why is there no dark skinned girls in these music videos? Blah, 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 blah. And then you start to realize that hip hop is a very colorist place.
Yeah.
It's a very colorist place. And as I got older, I became okay with it because I'm just like, that's okay. Because that's fine if you want to have your preference. Have your preference. Put your preferences in there. Let your preferences be the ones that are being generalized this way. Even though I do agree that I do think it is messed up that that's the way that they portray black women, especially in like this very sexual light.
Mm-hmm.
And half of us are not even like, a majority of black women aren't even like that. It's just like a very small minority.
Not even majority of those video vixens live that life. That's just check for some of them.
Yeah.
That's just them trying to get a check. Wearing some short shorts and a tank top that they would wear in life anyways is not a big deal. And if I get to hang out with a rapper and still get some coin, yeah. If I had the body, I sure would have.
No, but Melissa, the term video vixen meant way more than just hanging out with the rappers. That was the whole point of the term video vixen, being like coming into coin. It was way bigger than that. It wasn't just being a music video girl. Like, it was way bigger than that. Being a video vixen, that means you hung out with the rappers and you may fuck them after for even more money. So that's what it was.
In a way.
Yeah, basically, but a prostitution where you like made your own,
get something,
right? But where you made a name for yourself out of it. That was the video vixen. That's where the term video vixen came from. But what I'm talking about is just being a video girl in general. Like how let's say somebody like Amber Rose started out as a video girl, So
Nadeem was a video girl. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's just, I'm talking about just normal video girls, not vixens, not video hoes.
Yeah. No. That's why I wanted to differentiate the term video vixen from just being a video girl. But like I said, hip hop was, and I think will be a colorist place. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of am okay with the colorism in it, because I feel like it's up to the people who resonate with that to change it. Because what can I do? Because I don't see people like me in music videos like that. So for me, it doesn't sit with me the same way it may sit with somebody else that may be like, why? Well, I know a lot of light-skinned girls that don't act like that. Why is this here? It's on them to speak up on it, because people are going to listen to you because they see you more than they see people that look like me, you, and Kelly in music videos. You understand what I'm saying? So I can only make a change for myself. I can only speak on what I feel more comfortable speaking with, or what I resonate with more. Because trust me, the only way I'm gonna see dark skinned girls in a music video is that I'm gonna have to go listen to some Afro beats. And that's honestly the truth. I gotta go listen to some Wizkid. I gotta go watch a Wizkid music video.
Well,
I
also
mean,
keeping in mind the last time I actually sat down and watched a real hip hop music video, I was in junior high. So,
or I'm gonna have to hit up Chet Hanks, because Chet Hanks, he be trying and he be having mad dark skinned girls in his videos because he likes them chocolate. So
I watched that man in Empire. He ain't bad.
he is not bad. Tom Hanks, you did a good job, but either way,
Tom Hanks don't think so, but
Tom Hanks
whatever.
is just chilling. He's ignoring that child.
You know what's wrong? When Tom Hanks' son has better bars than some of these kids out here in these streets.
Yes.
Facts.
Yes.
That's how you know it's bad out here.
It's real bad.
Yep.
Tom Hanks' son is on fucking Empire laying down bars, and you got these kids out here talking about, I got bars. I got light bulbs. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You ain't talking about nothing.
I can send you a couple white boys that you probably have never heard of that got bars.
Oh, no, I'm not even talking about just white boys, because I listen to Logic. Like, just, I'm not even talking about white. I'm talking about he is rich and white. Like, he is, at no point in his life he's had to really struggle.
Oh, you mean?
But he's out here able to lay down bars better than these kids who are in the come up, quote unquote.
That's true.
He's gold flaked white chocolate.
That's what I meant.
I still do think that the world of hip hop still has a long way to go, especially when it comes to the imagery behind women, especially because there's some great women out there that are on the darker spectrum of color, and they don't get the same light as the preferences, as I should say, because it is a preference. Hip hop has a preference, and I'm never gonna stop saying that. It does have a preference. And that's why you appreciate rappers who don't put females in their videos, period. They just walk the streets by themselves as their music videos, and that I'm perfectly fine with that. You don't give an imagery of what you like and what you don't like, what you find attractive and what you don't find attractive, and I'm okay with that. I prefer that better as a music video. And that's why I appreciate people like J. Cole and like Kendrick if they ever come out with a music video for a song and stuff like that, because it doesn't show anybody in any type of light. It just shows them. Maybe they'll have one or two people in their music video, but they're always clothed and they're just in the background, and that's it.
Their artistry speaks for themselves.
It does, and it's also showing that you have a conscious state of mind. Like, you're conscious and you're aware of what's going on. But ain't a lot of people like that,
sadly. But you just gotta accept it.
What was the last music video y'all saw?
Oh
God, don't even ask me that. I don't watch music videos. Don't ask me that.
Oh wow. I feel attacked because I don't honestly know.
I don't.
The only one I can remember really is 2 years ago now was Heat. Chris Brown's Heat.
I definitely didn't watch that.
Yeah, only because they got the Kappas and the Kappas look great in the suits. I was just like, oh yeah, that's it. That gets me every time. Black men in great suits that are fitted. Oh Lord Jesus. But that was like 2 years ago. So
I think
the last one I watched was Rumors with Lizzo and Cardi B, only because they did a Hercules inspired music video, so I had wanted to see it, and then there was like a bunch of drama surrounding that in the first place because everybody was just like, Lizzo, why are you doing this stuff with Cardi B, blah 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 blah, and she was getting mad hate for it, so I'm just like, okay,
it's not that real.
It's
like, I don't care for Cardi, but I like Lizzo, so it's just like, okay, their labels wanted them to work with each other, obviously, because they're two very popping people right now, and that's normally how it goes.
Yeah,
you sell more streams like that, you get more streams like that, you put two popping people. Lizzo probably has a different demographic of people who listen to her versus Cardi B, and you put them together and you get both.
Yep, different audiences.
Yes.
Lizzo
It's
has a
common
very
sense.
large audience.
Yes, she does. She
Mhm.
basically attracts a little bit of everybody, but majority of the people who listen to her are people like in our age group and a little bit older.
No,
Mhm.
these young kids are listening to her. Everybody at my last job knew every single lyric, and we would all be like, "What would Lizzo do, though?"
No. I'm agreeing with you that everybody listens to her, but I'm saying that majority of the people who do listen to her are people who look like her because people can relate to her because of that.
Oh no, these white girls love Lizzo.
I'm not denying
They make
that.
her feel comfortable. They're like, "Oh, she's gonna be herself. I get to be myself."
It's
That's not
just
what she
like you've
meant, but all
always
right,
got to be
fine.
yourself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You're the
take the.
most privileged in society. You always get to be yourself. You can be out here strung out in the streets with drugs and you will still be forgiven. Like
Yeah.
you get a pass every time. You don't have to
Mhm.
take accountability for anything. You can always be yourself. There's a huge difference.
Ooh, look at us being podcasters because that's a perfect segue. Because I think another issue that I have with how people view hip hop is the fantasizing of the poor struggle because
Mhm.
they see that as, oh, so they came out of it, so that means other people can come out of it. They're choosing
Yeah.
to stay in that. First of all, bitch, no one chooses to be surrounded by gangs, guns, violence,
Mm.
the uncomfortableness of walking down your own street, not knowing what's going to happen. No one chooses any of that shit. Not knowing how to feed your
Mhm.
kids and knowing where that gunshot came from and when you need to duck down or not. Who the fuck chooses that?
Mhm. No one.
Not I.
Nope.
So those who have a problem with hip hop, that's what always also one of their arguments of, oh well, they made it out, so that means others can make it out. There's no reason why they need to live like that. They don't need to live on that street
Yeah, but they made it out because they had some type of talent that someone saw. But then there's people who have that same talent and don't ever get seen
because they
and
don't have
never
the
make it
chance
out.
and opportunity that that one
Right.
person did.
And then my thing is
Yeah.
always this: you tell them, "Oh well, if they can do it, you can do it too." Okay,
So you go live off
and
of $10 an
how am I
hour.
right? And it's like, how am I getting out of this? And there's no job opportunities for me because I'm
Mhm.
discriminated against. If all I have is a college, a high school diploma, and a GED, I can't even get a proper functioning job. I can't go to college because I'm too poor for government assistance, or I may make just at the cutoff where I don't get it to be able to even get an associate degree that I can't afford because I'm making $10 an hour and I have to feed my children if I have children. I may have to help my parents support the household. Or two, I cannot stop working because I need to eat.
Also, affordable
Mhm.
housing is not affordable.
It's not because you need to stay in a
This
certain
Yeah.
bracket and you can't get another job.
Mhm.
You can't go make more money and still get affordable housing. You can't. And this is the problem that people don't understand. Like, so people that look like them, the criticizers, are the one who put these systems into play. But they put these systems into play with a lot of restrictions and caps on them. And you're telling me that you didn't even look into it to see what these caps are, but you're
Mhm.
criticizing.
But then their dad's friend also owns the record companies that are pushing all of these
Poverty.
stories and poverty and drugs and all of this stuff. But then on the flip side of that, their other friend is like, oh, condemn the rich, condemn the hip hop, they're evil for communities, as they're all
Mhm.
friends.
Right.
Yep.
As they all go golfing on the weekend. So it's
Sure
just like,
do. All 18 holes.
and their daughters are all Kappa Sigma Pi Gamma Delta
J-
Alpha Lon Data Sigma
Lord.
Kappa Kappa.
Debutante babies.
Xenon of the Z
They're
Corp.
all Russian this week. You know it's Rush week, right? So they're all Russian this week. So it's great.
First of all, I
They're
can't.
all over. It's so annoying.
Y'all already know how I feel about those types of sororities.
Mhm.
They're
That's a cult.
creepy.
Mhm.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't be the criticizer and then build a system and want to complain. You can't. You
But they
can't build a
will.
system and complain about the system at the same time. You can't.
Mhm.
Especially when you benefit from the system. You can't complain about it.
Just like the drugs, alcohol, and partying, we have record companies pushing these narratives that that's cool, and then you have their friends who are also the pharmaceutical companies who make these drugs or the government, who also imports the drugs, because the government imports drugs, y'all. Like, y'all know that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So I didn't mean that to you. I meant that to listeners.
Okay.
Yeah, the government imports the drugs to get to the dealers on the street, and then they have the police track them down and do all the things, and it's just a vicious circle of bullshit.
Yeah, it's a very
But
terrible
everybody
cycle.
on top who has complaints, all are still getting checks.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They're the benefactors behind all of this.
Sorry, I live with a man who does a lot of research every day. And I hear a lot of fucked up shit every day.
What are the questions you got, Mel?
Well, what would you say, outside of kind of what we talked about, it, like with today's hip hop, what are like some more detailed beefs that you're like you have a problem with of how they handle it in hip hop today? So like the one I brought up earlier with, there's a certain demographic in the rap community that I will not say names, that have been recently talking about what women should do with their bodies and how they feel about it, and it makes me angry. Because, bitch, you're not going to tell me what to do with my bodies and talk about what I'm doing to the community and when you're doing far worse.
Mm-hmm.
But they're doing absolutely nothing better. Nothing.
Literally talking about what black women should be doing with their bodies in their songs. And I'm like, and these are not small artists either. These are big name
No.
artists who are talking
First of
about this
all-
in the songs. And I'm just like, you're dead serious.
First of all, my whole thing about that is this. It's this. Call a spade a spade. As long as black men have been making music videos, they have always been putting black women in a light of making us look really bad sexually,
Mm-hmm.
making us look like we are these sexually perverse people in their music videos, half naked, whatever the case is. And now you have a problem with women, especially black women, taking that back. And I have no
Yeah.
problem with Megan Thee Stallion shaking her ass, owning it. I have no problem with it. I have no problem with Nicki Minaj's Anaconda video, because guess what? Y'all was doing that to women already. And they're doing it
Mhm.
back to say, like, this is my body. I'm going to do it if I want to do it. It's my choice. I am no longer getting paid by black men. And well, not black men, it's white men that were paying them. But either way you
Yep.
put it, I'm not going to be sitting here as a trophy in a music video for black men anymore, being paid by white men. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to get the white man's money on my own terms while shaking my ass. Because guess what? That check is getting written directly to them, not to the black men who cast them in those music videos. So I have no problem with it. I have no problem with women taking back their sexual energies and doing it their way. I have no problem with that, because majority of these women are the creative directors behind their music videos in the first place.
Oh yeah.
They are. So I have no problem with it. None whatsoever. So they can take their criticisms and shove it up their black ass their black assholes. Simple as that. I don't care. I'm for it. It ain't my life, but I'm for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of them is the one of the albums you asked me about, and I was like, I'm not listening to that travesty. I'm good off of all of that. My coins will. I'm good. Yeah. What else have y'all seen in like with these recent in the last, like, let's say 10 years? Because holy shit, it's been we're almost 30. So in the last 10 years,
Thanks for reminding
God, don't
us.
remind me.
you're so welcome, because we're aging together.
I would say probably the whole egotistical type of mentality. I can't do it. It ticks me off. I feel like it's putting out a narrative that whole I'm better than you, you can suck it, let me get mine, you can figure out yours later, but I'm going to stay on top and rise to the top without anybody's help, in that kind of sense. It's just degrading, just like what we just talked about. And I think it's worse from the men's side, not necessarily the women's side, because I think for women now, like Kashana was just saying, they're trying to take back their power that men have already ripped apart from us and continue to still do and probably will for the rest of our lives. But that's neither here or there. But the ego filled mindset that men have in their songs and their lyrics are just overwhelming, and I'm just not here for it. I could almost stand the ego sense that was happening back in the 90s and the 80s, But nowadays, it's just too filled, and it just grinds my gears and makes me sick. Like, I will turn it off. I won't give you any of my streams. I won't give you any of my money, and I won't be going to your concerts either. So that's how I feel.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What about you, Prime?
Well, I mean, y'all kind of just said what I was thinking, but I don't know. It's something that people like. First of all, I like how you just gonna talk about. 'Cause I feel like you was talking about Kanye, but you didn't want to say Kanye. But
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it,
okay.
but it's also another artist on his label who I'm talking about as well.
I mean, that sounds stupid anyway. Um, why do these things happen, or are allowed to happen?
Because corporate wants their money.
Mm-hmm.
Are they really bringing in? Well, I guess they are bringing in money, but that's not.
The artist isn't. That's why the artist does what they do to get as much attention so they can get the little coins out of the big pot that they can. But there's
Right.
still a big ass pot. Black people make more money in hip hop in music than any other genre.
Entertainment, period. Whether it's, being on TV, music, social media, they do.
Like hip hop brings in so much money for record companies compared to any other genre, and nobody
Mm-hmm.
can tell me shit because no matter who you are, you know someone who listens to hip hop. Sorry to
Yep.
break it to you. And they enjoy it.
Yep.
But they bring in so much money, so these record companies get so much money and they only give the shillings to those at the bottom, and they keep it for themselves for their bonuses, commissions, board members, all that shit. None of it goes to us. None of it goes to the communities that these artists come from. But they're gonna keep pushing it so they can keep their pot.
Yeah.
Yep. Black people are like the cash cow that Britney Spears is for pop music. We're just the cash cow for all music genres, basically.
Or
Did you say Britney Spears?
For pop music.
When
yeah.
you mentioned her, I
That's
just
all
stopped
she
listening.
was.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's true though.
I mean,
Her
she
family
was
used her as the
literally
cash cow.
slaved her to make the to get them as much money as they could from her. She didn't have control over any of her money. They made her a literal slave. She had to listen to everything they did, and she had no choice.
That song "Slave for You." That's exactly what it is.
Like the amount of shit she had to do on behalf of her dad because he told her to do it and she didn't have a choice is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
But they have money. Whether she still has money is the question we trying to figure out right now. Anyways, yeah, that's why it keeps happening, because at the end of the day, everybody wants their checks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also why the world is in such a shithole right now, because everybody wants their checks and no one cares about everybody else. But what do I know?
Sometimes it don't seem that way. As much as they complain about small stuff.
Well, that's what I was saying. It's just like when I have a circle of friends who everything that we do benefits each other, it doesn't affect them. It's just controversy down here on the totem pole of us lower people. But on the higher up people, they're all fine. They go to dinner with each other at least once a month, probably. Like, they're chilling because they're all making money off of all of us. The conservatives are making money off of the hip hop because hip hop is driving narratives to children that make their causes more just, so then they can keep doing what they want to do. And it just is, it's a never ending cycle of bullshit of just everybody getting their coins, except for the people who are actually doing it. That's how America works.
Yeah. Greedy motherfuckers.
Yeah. That's it. Sorry. Yeah. Evil people is basically all I got for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think like especially us having like we were what I call like the last generation of experiencing true, genuinely good artists. And I mean, there's still some good ones that are coming out now, and that makes me hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
But like once like Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole came out, like I feel like there was a sharp decline in quality. Hard.
Oh yeah.
You know what I
Without a
think it
doubt.
is too? I think what I think in the discovery phase, like these artists are good once they're being discovered, but once they start signing to the record label and then the record label has all rights over them and what they it's not even what they produce at this point. It's what is written for them and the character they may have to portray to the world. I think that's where the decline comes from. I don't think it's like
Oh yeah.
because if you listen to like a lot of these newer generations of artists, they may have good things when they were just on SoundCloud and YouTube.
Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
that's when
Or
they
like,
weren't a
yeah,
character. That's when they were
right,
genuinely themselves. That's what I mean.
right,
I don't want to hear from Barney about Barney tales. I want to hear from a person. I don't want to hear a character. If I wanted to see a character, I
Mm-hmm.
would go to Disney World. I want to hear real people talk about real people's shit
yeah.
that real people go through.
And I
Yeah.
think that's where you get the term the industry pawns. And I think that's where it comes
Yeah.
from the fact that after these people have signed to a label, they go downhill from there. And I think that's the reason why a lot of like people that you don't hear about on the mainstream or even like close to that, that don't ever sign to a record label that just continues to produce their own stuff and use their own money to like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
put it out there and whatever the case is. I think that's the reason why a lot of those people are better. And I think that's the reason why too, where you have people like J. Cole, Eminem, Top Dog, and people who used to be in the industry as rappers or and stuff like that that have their own record labels. That's the reason why their artists sound way more better and way more legit because they do have creative rights over their projects.
They sound like they're still an underground artist, which I adore.
Yeah, me too. And that's the reason why you
Mm-hmm.
have made people who are signed to like Sony and Capitol Record and all these other super big top labels that
Pawns.
don't have that quality anymore because they lost it
Mm-hmm.
because they just signed all their creative rights over to X person. And that's the reason why those are normally the people who go on these long ass Instagram rants making themselves look
Yep.
dumb.
Ugh.
And those are the people that when they do want to express their true self and actually want to be legit to themselves, and when they do, they have to write long ass apologies or have a long ass apology posted. We know exactly what I'm talking about. So
Yep.
yeah, those are the people who get booked at all the music festivals and stuff like that, the ones who are in
Mm-hmm.
the industry, because once they see a record label like Sony or whoever attached to their name, they're going to go to festivals, and once they mess up, you get stripped of it.
Yeah. Like I've mentioned before on here, a couple episodes back, how I recommended The Weeknd and listening to his previous mixtapes instead of his current music that's going on
Mm-hmm.
now because he was just such a great artist and person back then when he was making that creepy, spooky type of real grungy emo
Yep.
type of music and you could
Mm-hmm.
relate to it no matter how deep you were in your own depression or your own type of mental illness, like you could relate to The Weeknd or Abel at that time.
Yeah.
Nowadays, since he's now caught up in this whole mainstream media, I can't stand his ass. Like, I'm tired of seeing him winning all these awards when really his album sucked. Like, why is your album winning album of the year?
It's the
Why is your
ties to the
music
Because it was
being,
industry.
paid.
yeah,
It was
Paid.
the ties to the
yeah.
industry.
And he makes bank for people, and that's all that people want in the industry. Who can make the most money? Who can give me the most deals? Who can give me the most exposure?
And I understand why there's artists that may get upset when they get snubbed for an award and stuff like that. I do
Oh, yeah.
understand it.
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
They have every right to feel that way.
Like a lot of these industries also have like stream bots that like
Mm-hmm.
like enhance streams for certain artists and stuff like that to make it look like they're actually hitting the top of the charts for weeks in a row. And I'm just like, who listened to that shit?
Yeah,
Who?
there's actually a YouTube channel that does that. Like they
Yeah.
will stream those same artists over and over again as if that's one single person. And that's what gets those people views. And I think a couple of recording
There's
companies,
podcasts that do that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they've booked with them, they've hooked up with them to get them to that level so that when the awards come out, they're probably going to win that award. It's
Yep.
sneaky.
They have stream bots, and
Hmm.
to like jump off a little bit, but it kind of like goes into this. Like, so I heard on the news the other day that Twitter is actually gonna start saying when an account is a bot account.
Hmm.
So it's gonna have its own logo saying that this is a bot account. So at
Yep.
least that way people knows that, yeah, your likes and retweets are from bots. They're not from actual people,
Hmm.
to make things more legit, because there's like bots accounts that like create posts and then put it out there, and then it becomes like, is this true, is this not true? And then Twitter is now trying to
Hmm.
get a grip on it, so now they're going to start posting like little badges on certain accounts to let you know that this is a bot account, like this is a certified bot account from like a news outlet or whatever the case is, or whatever. But I think that's
Yeah.
actually a really good idea, and they need to do the same thing with Instagram. Like, Mark Zuckerberg, get on it. We don't want your
Hmm.
glasses, your live glasses. Sorry to get off
God.
tangent. This man's about to come out with live video streaming glasses that you can wear glasses in public and
Evil
stream.
people.
I can't
Right,
stand them.
right. But these are the same people. This is the same man who does not have an Instagram account.
Yeah.
You know, darn well who them glasses is for. You know, it's for them old white pervert people that's about to go around recording everything they
Right.
see.
Right, but then that's my thing. Isn't
Mhm.
that a violation of other people's rights? Because now we can't, we don't know if, and they're gonna look like Ray-Bans. That's the funny part. So now
They
you're
are
gonna have
Ray-Bans. They partnered with Ray-Bans.
yes, you are right. They partner with Ray-Bans. So now you're telling me that people are gonna be going around recording everyone's day-to-day movement, because you're not recording yourself. You're recording what you see.
Facebook is in a continuous lawsuit with the U.S. government every single day about infractions on people's rights. They don't give a fuck about our rights. They care about
Nope.
profits.
Yep.
Evil people do evil shit when you get to evil levels.
Yep.
Evil.
Hmm.
It's like watching a horror movie every time you leave your house. There's evil shit happening every day.
Yep.
Sorry, I did not mean to go there. But have you ever had someone like argue with you about why hip hop's so bad? Actually, let me rephrase this. Why rap is so bad, because I think in everything we talked about, there are artists who I consider more hip hop, which changes definitions to me every single generation. And then there's rap. Like, rap is about life shit, talking about real things, what real people think about, and they actually make sense. The lyrics have a meaning and depth to them.
Not rhyming zucchini with bikini. So
no,
yeah, no,
God,
that's
not
just that's
Birkin
a
with Birkin.
rhyme. That's a rhyme. It's not rap. There's a big difference.
Yeah,
Like, I was in my bikini eating the zucchini.
That means we were all rappers in
Yeah, we were all
school.
rappers in elementary school, and we had to write poems. So
first of all, I still am a rapper. Thank you.
I think like even in the '90s, while they were still talking about their life, where it was sexual, whatever, they would say it, but they were kind of still hide it. Not well, okay. They would word it differently. Now you just say like, I put it in and did this and did that. Wow, maybe back then they didn't say it as aggressively.
There was more literal depth to their music. It wasn't saying literally what was coming out of your mouth, but there was like a thought process about how they rhymed and schemed lyrics. Versus now it's just like, I went to the pool and I pick up my kid from school. Like, bitch, I don't give a fuck.
Literally, Future has a verse where he says he's doing it to your wife in some flip flops. Like, just
yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, there was more like, it was more subtle back then. Like, you knew what they were talking about, but there wasn't like extreme details on what they were talking about. Nowadays, it's like, I'm gonna talk about the wet, good, kush, everything. It's like it's graphic, and that's the reason why they can't put hip hop they can't put that type of hip hop or whatever on the radio because that's a lot to bleep out.
Yeah, like has Megan's
Yeah.
song
Every other word.
has Megan's song been on the radio? Because how do they blurt that out when the
They have in the
title?
nighttime. It is on the nighttime when Funk Flex decides to be a coon and jump on it. But
Like I heard WAP. I heard the video version of WAP, and I was like, "Oh, I wonder how they
and
go."
it was just like, and this is literally WAP on the radio. They play it, and it's just like, dun, dun, that's a wet, dun, dun, and the mop, that's a.
Literally,
I swear to God, I swear to God.
I was like, I wonder how they gonna clear this up. That was the clean version. I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah.
And when it's done live on a video award show, that stuff looks horrible. It's just like, why did you perform it?
Because that was that artist's top grossing song at that point. But you have to remember, it's the top grossing song because of platforms like TikTok.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because that's the song that everyone wants to dance. Every 12-year-old wants to dance to and do the WAP challenge to. So it's like,
It's a WAP challenge? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Girl,
where you been?
Girl.
Lord.
First of all,
Melissa's
old.
Busy. She's
work.
busy. It's not because she's old. It's because she's super busy. She doesn't have the
I
same
go on
time
social
to
media
do
at 7
type of
o'clock at
downtime.
8 o'clock at night when I get home, and I'm on social media for about an hour, and then that's it. All right.
Yes. She's better than she's the best at this than most adults.
Yeah.
What's the other challenge? The other one, it's not the WAP. It's something else that's bad too.
There was a couple, but
The Busted challenge was horrible.
Oh yeah,
like all those. Why
for Chloe? Hers was fine.
Why are all those like I don't. Kids are mostly on TikTok and they're doing this. Why is that like not like blocked or like censored or whatever?
Because
the same reason it wasn't when we were kids.
Right. What they block is more like topic sensitive stuff on TikTok. So they'll block like racial stuff on TikTok and that's about it. Or like, people taking their own life and stuff like that, or more violent acts. That's what they take off of TikTok. But remember, people are dancing. It's not that bad.
Right.
And that's what they see it as. That's what they see it as. And TikTok is technically an app for kids. And I still don't understand why there's grown adults on TikTok doing these things as well. And that's why I always say, I'm a grown ass woman. Why am I on TikTok? Why? I can understand celebrities being on TikTok because, a lot of celebrities have more kid following. And the celebrities aren't doing as bad things as regular people like you and I on TikTok. They're doing it because, TikTok pays them as well. So
TikTok is also owned by a very evil country.
Yes.
And they just allowed Americans who are just as evil to push and create narratives, but they just want data. That's what.
Well, you have to remember, Americans bought TikTok at this point, so it's just like
no, they didn't buy TikTok. They bought the U.S. rights for TikTok. TikTok is still owned by the big dogs.
Yeah, because they owned the platform it was before. So
yeah, no, the U.S. bought the rights.
Yeah,
but the TikTok is still owned by a certain people, and they just want your data. That's the reason why That's why it's as popping as it is, because they pushed all this stuff on us. So now it's been jam-packed down our throats. We're like, oh yeah, TikTok, of course. Bitch, I don't know how to do any of these reels, ticks, or none of it. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what's happening in this world. Yeah. Unfortunately, as TikTok is becoming this big, huge it's always been a big, huge platform. It's just the fact that now people are learning that they can make money off of it and they can like up their streams because people are using TikTok more than they use Instagram. So, and that's why now Instagram has a share feature where you can share your TikToks directly to Instagram because that's the only way they know that they can connect the two generations. Because remember, it's mostly our back end of the millennial generation and the generations before us that are on Instagram at this point.
Yeah.
They left the old people on Facebook. So.
Oh yeah, old people are still on Facebook.
Old people are on Facebook.
They're on the Facebook.
They on the Facebook.
The Facebook.
Don't get me wrong, I will go ahead and get me something off a marketplace, but that's because I'm cheap.
But everybody, they know what they're doing over there on that side, so it all correlates with each other. Like, since that's the dancing app, and they know that all these new age hip hop and stuff like that all have these nice catchy beats you can dance to, it makes it easier to market, especially on that app.
Well, I was gonna save this for after we was off the air, but I guess I'll just ask it. How are, if y'all know, I know Kelly, I like performances. How do y'all like view their performances from back then to now? Because obviously the music goes to a performance.
What do you mean, like live stage performances,
Yes,
or
because
just
none of
like
them have
music
stage
videos?
presence.
Yeah, there's very few artists nowadays that does have stage presence. Like, one person whose stage presence I do like, when I have seen like live performances of this person, but it's mostly like on recaps on YouTube, is Doja Cat. Like, I think that she does, even though I don't personally like her, she puts a lot of effort into her performances. She does. So that's one person that I do like when she does perform. Because she tries. She tries very hard.
You can see the effort is there.
Oh yeah. She's working very hard to make sure she has a stage presence.
Right. Because when it comes to males, they don't have to do the same. They don't have to, there's no
they
point
take
to
their
be proven.
shirt off.
That's about it. They don't have the same point to prove.
Well, theatrics are not something that's pushed with the male narrative.
Right, unless you're like a Chris Brown and stuff like that. So, because that's what he's known for.
Yeah.
The performances is when they do the extra.
I know.
Just standing there and saying the words, it's like some of the versus battles. Like, we can just sit there and just say the words. You gotta like do something, perform.
I agree, but that's like, all right, perfect example. Like how, at least I haven't watched VMAs in a very, very, very long time. But like, I remember the VMA performances when I was a kid, and those were lit. Whether you even like some of those artists or not, they were always theatrical as fuck. Big, huge stage presence, lots of different details and dynamics and all this type of stuff. And now you go and see just videos that I watch now from VM. I'm good. They don't do nothing. They don't put effort in.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a huge artist.
Because the quality of artistry has went down, because now you just have to be like we said, you have to be a character now. You don't actually need to have talent at this point. It's just literally about artistry. Like, you remember back in the days when somebody like LL Cool J went on stage, like, he had charisma even though he didn't have to dance or anything like that. Like, he had his backup dancers, and all he did was just like walked around in his do-rag and his fitted and took his shirt off and just did what LL did, and that was stage presence, because we knew LL, that's what he was good for. But nowadays you have people like the Baby, and they try to do the same thing, and it's just like, okay, just shut up, just stop talking.
His domestic violence ass, he ain't got no damn charisma.
That's what I'm saying. There is no charisma. Like, at least back then, these
That's
artists
the anger
did have charisma. Right.
So what?
That his charisma is his anger ready to hit somebody.
You're not wrong, because his toxicness makes me love his songs. I'm not gonna lie to you. Some of his songs hit because I know how toxic he is.
You said the right word. They be hitting.
My energy. Yeah, they be hitting. That just that toxic.
Yeah.
Feed off that shit. But that goes into it, though. People like the toxic. Just put it out there. All right, well, y'all got anything else to say about hip hop and why people have a beef with it?
Find some people in the underground. That's it. Like,
yeah, man.
If you want good hip hop, find some people on the underground. If y'all want some good recommendations, I got you.
Ditto.
Same. All right, well, let's go ahead and sorry, my phone, my computer just did a lot. Let's go ahead and dive into our social media moment. I'm gonna have Miss Kishana intro it in.
All right, hold on, let me go back to it, because
this foolishness.
I mean, it kind of ties into all of this, so that's kind of like the
It sure
good
does.
part.
It
It
does.
ties into all of this. So, as we knew before, we had Lil Uzi Vert earlier. What was it, over the summer of last year? Who decided to implant a $24 million pendant into his head, to his forehead, dead front and center, right there where the third eye is supposed to be. So, I think it was a couple weeks ago. He was at a concert, one of those, you know, quote
It was
unquote
Rolling
social
Loud.
distant. Yeah, Rolling Loud. There you go. And this man decided to crowd dive into the crowd, and someone literally snatched his diamond off his forehead.
That's fake. That's insurance fraud. He definitely said when I.
No. But listen,
No,
Prime,
he
listen.
has it.
He has
Oh,
it. They were able to get it back. They were able to retrieve it because, according to him, when they snatched it,
okay.
he was able to jump into the crowd. His security came in and they got the guy and they snatched it back. So his diamond is back in his head.
He jumped in the crowd. He said, "Hey, when I jump in the crowd, you unhook the latch and take it, and we gonna say insurance fraud. That's what we're gonna do."
Right, but he got it back. That's the funny part because this man network isn't even 24 million. It's not. It's way less than that. It's not even a half of that that's his network. So lay away.
He said he saves a lot of money to get that diamond.
Yeah, ignorance.
But
But
it's not paid that way, y'all.
So recently, one of our favorite hip hop trending, not really hip hop, but pop culture pages, the Savoy Show, posted about a white Hispanic rapper by the name of, what was his name again? Dan Sir. He decided to implant gold chain hooks into his head so he can have chains hanging from his scalp. So I love his caption under this post as well. It says, attention-hungry rapper reggaeton star Dan Sir has adopted the look that is sure to fill even the most diehard hip-hop's fan with dread. Because literally, I like to play on words. The 23-year-old Mexican Goldilocks claimed that he's the first rapper in human history to rock the assortment of gold chains as hair, hanging from hooks he has surgically implanted into his scalp. Sir, I hope you pay very well for a lot of security. Don't go into no hoods. Don't drive with your windows down. Tuck all these chains under a hat because you gonna get snatched and they gonna get snatched because there's a lot of people out here that's not afraid to run up on you. Don't go back to Mexico. Don't go to no foreign, more third world like countries because in the country I come from, you can be walking down the street and they will snatch your cell phone right out your hand. They will snatch your purse. They will snatch something off.
That happens in Queens.
I know, but I'm telling you, I'm just saying, in my country, they don't care. It can be your child walking with a little flip phone and they'll snatch that too. So it don't matter. I hope you pay very well for security because this is the most ignorant shit I've ever seen in my life. I thought Uzi was bad. This man literally paid to have hooks surgically implanted in his head to hang chains from at 23 years old.
I'll be honest. I don't think nobody gonna snatch it just to take the chains. I think they just gonna snatch it to see what happens, like with his head, because
it's gonna bleed.
Yeah, because that's what
it's gonna bleed.
Yeah, man, you're gonna be scalped.
And I'm sure these are all real gold chains because they're an assortment. So he literally has rose gold, yellow gold, white gold. So it's an assortment. So, and if you're telling me that these are all like 24 karat gold, then I'm sorry, they get snatched. Snatched.
That's also gonna add weight, isn't it? That should be heavy.
That sounds
right,
like
that's right.
You would think that. Headache.
You would think that, but everybody's out here riding for the clout. So yeah.
I just need to know what imbecile of a surgeon is doing this because they
someone who wants money.
Yeah, who wants to check?
But I just can't.
And I'm sure, and I'm Kelly, I'm 100% sure for these particular surgeries or situations, they have these people sign like waivers that says that we are 100% not responsible for anything that happens after you have paid and you get off this table. You did this on your own.
Oh yeah. You got
So
to.
yeah,
1000%. I love me a good waiver.
Yeah. Get your money, doctors, but also that's just dumb. I
Oh,
couldn't
don't
live with
tag me
that.
in it. You want that
Yeah.
stupid shit on your head? Go for it. Don't
like
tag
I'm
me.
like
I
right
don't
now
want
I'm
your.
like
Mm-mm.
right now I'm like scrolling through this dude's profile and it looks like he can't even move his head. Like his head just
Nope.
stays in one
No.
place in videos. Like he can't move it.
Mm-mm.
Like I
As he
have a
should.
headache just thinking about that. Like he has to have continuous migraines.
Like how does he sleep?
He doesn't.
With a bonnet on.
Oh wow.
See, I just spit out
His
my
hand
drink.
gonna
I ain't
get
like
messed
that.
up.
That's oh my god.
He got to protect his locks.
Yeah.
Mm,
Like this guy looks like a legit clown. Like
you need Jesus or something. I don't know. Oh, what the fuck was that? Ew. Sorry. My bad, y'all. Well, I'll pray for him. I ain't got nothing to say. He's stupid.
very.
That's just
Mr. Goldilocks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
If that's not his new name, I don't know what is.
That is his that
That
should be
is
his new
Mexican
name. It's
Goldilocks.
Goldilocks. That's what they call him.
Yeah, because that's bar. That's great. Good
Yep.
job, Kels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh goodness.
Yes, so that's the world we live in now.
I mean, we could pray for this generation, but I ain't got much hope, so I'm not gonna do that.
Mm-mm.
Generation of rappers. I'm not gonna give up the whole generation, just the rappers. All right. Well, I think we're good to go. I ain't got nothing else to say on that foolishness. I don't. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this episode up. We're gonna end this with our weekly recommendations. So for those of you just tuning in, this is anything that we think will help improve your week, month, time, whatever, from music to movies, TV shows, advice, all of it. Mr. Prime, would you like to go first?
I was gonna go last, but I can go first. Way to treat the guests, right? No, I'm kidding.
You're part of the family. The guest went out the window about 15 DMs ago.
Okay. So this is anything, right? Like you don't gotta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, whatever you want.
short plug. Y'all can listen to the Prime Nostalgia podcast for y'all. No, okay. I don't have a specific recommendation. I'm just gonna say, if you want to listen to hip hop, since we're talking about hip hop, you should at least, if you're, one of those people that, because people do have issues with older hip hop. There is some people that still don't like older music. Just try your hand at, say, maybe look at a list of the top 10 hip hop songs. Pick one, listen to it, and then if you don't like it, then hey, I guess you just like now hip hop better. We have those type of people in this world that like now hip hop rather than the old school hip hop.
They can have fun.
That's true.
Yes.
Because Ether by Nas is one of my favorite Toxic songs. It's great. All right, thank you, sir. I'm gonna go ahead and knock mine out. It's real simple. Take y'all asses to sleep.
Damn.
Why you calling me out?
Whoa. Whatever. If you feel attacked by that, then you
It's
might need to
personal.
actually go to sleep because you're a little hostile because you're probably not sleeping. Yeah, it's stressful out here in these streets, and that's how I deal with stress. I take my ass to sleep. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to go away and just go to bed. And plus, y'all making a lot of noise outside my window, and I don't appreciate it. So, y'all need to go to bed. That's it for me.
Okay. Well, mine actually has to deal with the bed. So,
Hey.
yeah. And this is what you should do before you get in the bed. So, I am urging everybody, please, 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 if you have not done it already and you've never done it in your life, which I have to say you're probably dirty, please encase your mattress with a protective zip up layer because you need to protect yourself, one, from bed bugs if that is a thing. Hopefully, you don't ever have to experience bed bugs. I have not, thank the Lord Jesus. And also, it protects you and your mattress from getting dander and all those pollutants. So, dirt, dust, all that kind of stuff. And you just need to do it because you want to keep your mattress nice and pristine, because your mattress really should last quite a long time if you keep it up. And then also, to go along with that, is after you've encased your mattress, please make sure that you rotate and turn over your mattress every 3 months, because then you're going to feel like you're sleeping on a brand new mattress every season. And also, it's going to keep your mattress feeling fresh, and the springs and coils that are in the mattress are going to hold up better. So you're not going to be
Ooh.
sleeping and digging into the mattress every single night, because over time, your body is putting that pressure in the same spot that you sleep in. So when you rotate it and turn it, you're making sure that everything gets layered completely and everything gets its time for you to shine when you're laying in the bed and getting your Z's. So that's my recommendation.
Yes, that's very smart.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
All right. So for mine, since we are on the topic of hip hop, I have a artist I want to recommend for anybody who, like I said, the hip hop that I like is a little bit more street thuggish, I guess, in that sense. So the artist I want to recommend is a guy by the name of Flea Lord. So if anybody uses YouTube Music or Spotify or Apple Music, do me a favor, create a station starting with Flea Lord, and you will get the kind of hip hop that I like. Because this guy is raw, 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 and I like my hip hop raw. So
You like
do that for me.
Oh.
Raw,
Oh, okay.
raw.
Oh. Oh.
So do me that favor. Check out Flea Lord. Very good. He's a cousin of a friend, and his music is great. I absolutely love it. It's right up my alley. He has collaborations with people like Busta Rhymes, dudes from Griselda,
Winning.
and all those guys up there
Winning.
from the trenches of Buffalo. So yeah, that's mine.
Is his other name also like Delgado or something?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
but yes, do that.
Love it.
Love it.
All right, take us on out of here, Mel.
Well, before we do that, let's go ahead and Mr. Prime, please let the people know where to find you, where to find your podcast, all that good stuff.
Y'all can find it anywhere y'all listen to podcasts, and we got the visuals on YouTube because we do visuals.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a pain to edit, but it's cool.
Why we haven't done it.
But no, Prime Nostalgia Podcast everywhere. Twitter, sometimes I don't. Twitter is iffy. Instagram for sure. KVNG Primetime. And if y'all want to follow the pod, Prime Nostalgia Pod.
Awesome. Thank you again for being our guest. We really appreciate you coming on live with us and having a great conversation about a number of things. We had a good about an hour 30 in. Proud of us. Well, before I send us off, we will be taking a break, y'all. So we will see y'all probably in November. We'll let you know.
I shut it down.
Yeah, we need a break from life, y'all. We
Should
need a
we
break
tell
from
them a
this.
little sneak peek though of why we're taking a break and when we're coming back, or should we just wait?
Do it, Kelly. Do it.
Okay. So we're actually going to finally be together in the same spot. We're taking a little girl's getaway. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. We all need it. We're actually
Praise
going to the mountains somewhere. So we'll
Yes.
be recording our episodes for the rest of the season up there. And hopefully some other stuff will be going on.
But we got to make it through from now until then. So unfortunately,
Yeah.
that is like November.
2 months.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough 2 months. So just pray for us, y'all.
Just please.
Sanity.
Just pray for us. And And if you want to know why I say that, you can DM me. I'll happily lay it all on you. But we are so appreciative to have you on with us, Mr. Prime. We're just very glad we made this happen. But that is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you for listening to High Tea with Mel, Kellen K, and Mr. Prime. But go ahead, don't forget, leave us a quick review on iTunes. 5 stars is much appreciated. And you can follow us on Instagram at hight_podcast and on Twitter at hightpod, the number 1. And you can always email us your tea, and we actually have a good old landing page that's easy for you to tell us everything that's happening, and we can talk about it on air and give you some advice, all that good stuff. But that is all for Everything High Tea. Check out the links in the bio for everything that we are keeping up with. And we'll see you after the break. Love y'all. Bye.